Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Deathknight class event as well as the Deathknight class itself and a team for it. So this hero class about a month back or so ended up getting changed from a knight class now to an undead, so we are now restricted to Golvania and undead for this particular game mode. As far as what I'll be using for a good majority of these, it will be a Draculus Crimson Bat team with Draculus, Mountain Crusher, Banshee, and Crimson Bat. If you do not have this, you can go and replace into double Crimson Bat. And if you don't have double Crimson Bat, you can try going with double Wraiths, and those will give you mana drain, as well as the capability to Death Touch. You can also simply just go Titan using Mang in first slot, and you can pretty much kill all of them that way, as you can anytime, and you'd have Banshee to go feed it mana if you wanted to go down that route with it. But let's go with this for now. Basically, the whole point of this team is to do as much true damage as we possibly can, as that's basically the only thing we're going to be killing it with. And just keep getting our mana up. Ideally get Mountain Crushers when we can. Can use Titan, or you can simply use the Deathknight like we are right now in order just to get more EXP towards the Deathknight, though like with all class events, it is not required to actually use the class itself. Deathknight is quite the interesting class as far as what it can actually do. At one point, it was the best hero class in the game when Deathmark was in its prime, but these days, not so much. The most noteworthy thing about it is it actually Deathmarks all enemies when it ends up dying. So one other way that you can kind of use it, like if you were to use it as with a Mang, would be put it in first slot, so when it finally dies, which you would do pretty quickly, you can then go and simply Deathmark all the enemies, and then win off of those Deathmarks that you have. So it's an interesting strategy that can be done with it in order to basically have a chance to just randomly kill. Deathmark, what it ends up doing is have a 10%, it has a 1-turn delay, but after that it has a 10% chance per turn to instant kill the enemy until it's cleansed or until it just normally gets off with the cumulative 10% every single turn. So it has potential to be very, very dangerous, though also has the potential of doing nearly nothing at all. But as far as the class itself, let's go over some of the perks and everything. As far as the traits, we kind of already went over it. Only noteworthy thing here is the Deathmark everything when it dies. That's basically what the whole entire hero class is used for. On the first tree, you would end up going for the random storm that ends up getting. On the next, you'll definitely go for the freeze. This is the best option of the few that are here. Next up, you would either go for any of these three, either the 1 soul every turn if you want more souls, the gain barrier to start a battle if you want that extra protection, or all yellow allies gain 1 magic if you want it to be offensive. Next, you would go for any of these 3 as well, depending on if you need a blue storm, a brown storm, or simply more skull damage. So more often than not, you'd probably go for one of the 2 storms. You would then go into the lifesteal or the barrier when an ally dies. If you have something that keeps killing itself out, that will end up putting a barrier onto a random troop on your team, such as if you were to constantly keep doing Sunbird, for example. Other than that, you would normally just go for the life siphon for whenever you do it into extra turn spam. Speaking of extra turn spam, you would normally go into the 1 explosion for every single extra turn you do onto a yellow, though both the other 2 are pretty decent as well. The banishment, which will get rid of all positive stats effects, as well as the swift curse, which would be an extra death mark right at the beginning of battle. And then for the final tree, you'd most likely go with Unholy Blessing. Now that this hero class now counts as undead, this will count towards itself, as well as for any other undeads that you happen to include in your team. Otherwise, you'd most likely just go for the elemental bonus, which gives 1 extra magic to all of the elemental allies every single time there is anything casting on your team. Anyways, let's go into one specific team. It was at one point the absolute best team in the entire game. These days, not so much, though it still kind of functions at some parts in the game. But it is Crimson Bat, Princess Elspeth, Sacrifice, and any purple weapon in the game, doesn't matter what it is. So right off the bat, we are going to want to go and kill out our hero and hopefully have a good board where this will not miss. So we'll do that, and now we have Sacrifice as well as a troop right there. We then go cast this on the blue, sometimes red, though blue would be a little bit better since it gives it to both of them. Do it again. One of the reasons why this team actually works and does what it does is Sacrifice, which just died, so I can't actually go show it, has a boost ratio of 4 times whenever there is a death mark on the enemy team. Normally a Sacrifice wouldn't end up giving you too much magic, but with 4 death marks on the opposing team, all 4 of which that it boost ratios off of for a total of 16, it more than doubles the amount of magic it gets per cast. So now we have Crimson Bat with 81 damage dead. The entire team just gets one-shotted. And yeah, that is basically the only thing Deathknight is used for. Essentially. this is the whole purpose of why you would ever use, he has immune, doesn't he? They do, but okay. That would be a bad example then. Can we find a team? Figures, the one time we want to go run Deathmarks, and it is the time when everything we are about to face has Deathmark immunity on it. Here we go. This should be fine. I don't think anything actually has it here. But anyways, let's go try this again. Of course, what makes it work is sacrifices 4 times boost ratio per Deathmark. So that's 16 additional magic. As you can see, that 16 additional magic just from the Deathmarks on the enemy is more than the magic we even have as the base value with how high our stats are on sacrifice. So we are more than doubling the effectiveness of Sacrifice's magic gain to all of our allies. By all of our allies, I mean literally just Crimson Bat, because he is the entire team. There we go, we'll go get that. Ideally, that would give us full mana. Apparently not this time around, but we'll move that down. Go throw this on blue. Hopefully it doesn't ruin it for us, doesn't seem to. I'm going to take a right here just preemptively to make sure we have enough mana for Crimson Bat, just in case, you never know. And we'll do this again. That should be enough to make sure we have enough damage. 81 again, exactly. And it just kills out the entire enemy team. Never mind, he has 20% reduction. But luckily, we do 2 times skull damage to things that have HP missing. So even if something does live, Crimson Bat can very easily clean it up. But yeah, that is basically Deathknight in a nutshell. That is literally the only team in existence that you would pretty much ever use them in. Unless you're just going for some kind of really random team where you're using hero in first slot and you just kind of want it to die out in order to gamble on if the Deathmarks will actually kill or not, or any other team that can quickly kill your hero and gamble on the same premise of hoping to get those Deathmark kills. But yeah, not really that good of a hero class, more towards mid-range, has this one really extremely niche specific purpose, and for the most part, that's about it. One other thing that you can use it for occasionally though is things like pet battles and basically any event that's going to be hard that can still be deathmarked, where you're going to want to be able to get those kills still, but you're going to be able to get them just by having your hero, essentially anything where the stats are so high where your hero is probably going to die, but you can utilize it in order to try to also get the enemy killed. So any kind of battle system where the battle is constantly cycling around to a brand new team every single time. So basically, mainly just the class events and pet battles are the 2 main locations currently where Deathknight would come into play, unless you're using it for some kind of quick PvP team like this. But anyways, guys, that is the Deathknight hero class. As far as doing the event, you can pretty much do it if you want. It's not really that needed of a hero class, so do it as you will. But anyways, if you still have any other questions, feel free to leave in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Tomorrow we get the new class events.